Hi everyone, this is part 2 of the Q&A for members only. If you would like to become a member and a channel supporter, please click the join button. First question is, can I also ask, during recovery, how do you push through the mood swings, irritability, and sadness? You know, it would be strange if you were happy dealing with OCD, right? So this is something that everybody experiences when they're overcoming OCD, which makes it a symptom. You are sad not because you have depression, not because of some other issue, unless you actually have some other issue, but because you are dealing with OCD. And OCD is really tough to deal with. So sometimes when you push yourself, or just the compulsions or obsessions are getting you, and then there's real life stuff over top of it, you can become irritable and you can become sad that you have to deal with this and others don't. That's normal. You have to look at it that your job is to do recovery work. So you can allow yourself moments of irritability, moments of sadness, but then you got to get yourself together and say, you know what? The only way I can get out of this now is to fight it. There really is no other way but to fight this. So, but at the same time, you have an exact blueprint of what to do to get better. So now it's just doing it. But in terms of these moments, they happen for everybody and they will continue to happen, so just don't get stuck in them and don't start to ruminate of, am I going to recover? What about this person said, that person said? Because then you can create a theme out of it as well. Or worrying about sadness, depression, those kinds of things. Again, you can make a theme out of it. So I'm just warning you, don't get too caught up in ruminating about this either. When I say track rumination, I would say, sometimes people ask me, well, what is exactly counts as rumination? Anything that you're giving a lot of thought to, more than an average person would, including your situation generally, just count it as rumination. Because you don't need it in your life. You don't need to think about it hard, right? You just need to do the recovery work, and that's it. Next question is, thank you so much for your help. I have a few questions. I'm struggling at the moment as it feels that I don't want to recover. Every single time when I try to do recovery work, it feels like that's not what I actually want. The feeling is so overwhelming and powerful. Also, for the past few days, the thoughts have not been as intrusive as they used to be. It seems that I think them on purpose, and sometimes it even feels that I need to think about them. It really scares the shows that it really scares that it shows that what I have is not OCD. What do you think? Do you think that this is still OCD? Have you met people with similar symptoms? Do you think that this might be because I'm so used to these thoughts? Hope you can answer these questions. Okay, so this is clearly OCD. This is what we're talking about when we say OCD about OCD. So your job is to do recovery work and to refuse rumination and to slowly cut down the rumination, as I was saying, with tracking the time and everything. How you feel during this process is not going to be good because ERP is hard work. So basically, when you're doing ERP, you're putting yourself in a situation where you're going to be uncomfortable. So when you're doing recovery work, whatever your theme is that you're doing recovery work, right? Looks like you're doing fine with that. But then now OCD is jumping onto OCD itself. So, okay, you're not scared of this first theme. Well, what if you don't want to recover? So maybe the first thought would be, what if you want to kill someone? Not scared of that anymore. Okay, what if you don't want to recover? So these are two separate themes. You have to take it that way. So what you are doing for your original recovery work, you have to do the same thing for this. So you're digging, you're trying to figure out, is this OCD or is this not OCD? I feel uncertain. What if? So this is OCD A, and this specific thing that you worrying about OCD is also OCD. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is an actual separate theme that you're dealing with, okay? So you have to put your foot down and say, no, I'm not allowing myself to think about this anymore in any way. So because it's rumination. If you're ruminating all day, your brain doesn't really care what you're ruminating about as long as you're ruminating. And it can switch, so it can go back and forth between many themes you have, but this is definitely a theme. Next question is, hi Ali, I hope you're okay and staying safe. Yeah, we're okay over here. I have been following your advice on this regarding thoughts, sarcastically going along with the thoughts, doing ERP, doing on-purpose exposures for around 2.5 months now. My main theme is ROCD. Secondary theme is harm OCD. Thanks to your help, I am doing a lot better. My anxiety has reduced greatly. I still get the thoughts, but not as constantly or as powerful as they were, and I am able to push through most OCD attacks. I think I've been through the pummeling phase, and I've had variations of the thoughts, new themes which did cause a setback, but I applied ERP and pushed through them all. You see, guys, this is a person pushing through. It's not easy. There's setbacks, but there's also progress. And for 2 months of 2.5 months doing this on your own, this is pretty much standard. So you are doing great. This is exactly what we want to see in recovery. I would say the only thing is, again, track the number of compulsions, track avoidances, track the time. So you have all of the statistics of what you need to do to recover, and you're very diligent at reducing to the maximum that you can. It doesn't have to be all, again, just like you're saying, setbacks happen, it's fine, but trying to cut it down to the bare minimum and improving every day. Now, my questions are, even though I am doing better, my emotions are very up and down. I can feel very low and sad, sometimes very irritable, just like the first question, to which I feel really bad about. Is it normal in OCD recovery? Don't get me wrong, I still manage to push through with ERP despite these feelings, but is it normal in recovery? And also, I feel like I'm sometimes in the stage 2 to 3 recovery. Where in recovery stages do you think I am? So I think you are probably, I would say, yeah, middle to end of stage 2, depending on the day, entering stage 3 kind of thing, right? So it depends, because I don't really know exactly the level of your anxiety, but sounds something like that. So you're doing really, really well. Irritability, just like I said in the first question, you're pushing hard, you're taking your mind to its limit in terms of how much work you can do. And you still have to live regular life on top of it, right? So of course it's going to be like this. So just try to manage it, with ERP. And this actually applies to the first question as well, to anybody in OCD recovery, is I like to kind of leave a little room and not push to the very, very limit when you're doing ERP work. When you have the option, if you have ERP by default, say you have PUREO and thoughts are coming in all day, there's not much you can do. But if you do have the option, I suggest not taking it to the limit, because say, for example, you did ERP all day, you put yourself to the max, and then something happened at the end of the day that you didn't expect. It could have been a trigger, it could have been just some sort of life situation, and you are already spent. You're already at your limit. Of course, then you're going to get irritable. So kind of balancing it out is helpful in these situations. But I think you're doing really great. Also, I've been timing rumination, and it's gone down by 30% in the last 3 days. So I guess I'm on the right track. See, guys, 3 days, 30%. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about, the pills and all, like antidepressants and all of this. 3 days, 30%. Antidepressants, you're going to be waiting for weeks, and they won't give you that. Most of the time, maybe for some person, but generally, I've been doing this for over 10 years. I don't see a very strong effect from them. You can go ahead and try, but I'm just saying that ERP, if you actually push through, gets you results faster, and they're actual results. This is not a band-aid where, well, now you have to be on medication for life, because as soon as you go off, things are going to get bad. That's what people hear from doctors all the time. And actually, it's not even true, because the antidepressants are not really even doing that much. So the person comes off of them and notices almost no difference. In some cases, people do notice a difference, but I would say most clients say they noticed no difference. So if, for example, if the client, after a while of doing recovery work, chooses to reduce the dose, as they reduce the dose while doing ERP, they really see no difference. So wherever they were in going from point A, severe OCD, to point B, full recovery, say if they're kind of halfway through it, they stop the medication when they got to halfway again. You can just stop medication. You have to do it with your doctor, all that stuff. But when they start to reduce, they notice no difference, or very, very slight difference. And with the side effects of those medications, anyway, don't get me started. but see, this is a person doing the work. So just continue to do this. This is great. This is great. Just keep up the good work, honestly. And thank you so much for sharing your story, because it is really helpful for other people to also see it. Not just, that I'm saying it, but there's people who are doing this for whom it's working. And tracking the time is so important, because then you are responsible for every minute of your rumination. Because next day, if you ruminate a lot, the next day, you're going to be feeling worse. So if you start to realize how this game actually works, game as it is, right? And start to actually win rather than continue to lose. Next question is, thank you for your encouragement. I have been suffering from PUREO. My OCD is much better, but there is constant feeling of mild anxiety and sensation throughout the day in my body. My OCD thoughts are very mild, but somehow my attention keeps on going back to bodily sensations. How do I deal with it? And also, could you speak on moral scrupulosity, as my main theme is around responsibility OCD and being perfect and good always? So now a lot of people are asking these questions with sensations and feelings, and just look at it as these are byproducts. Try to pay attention to them as little as possible. They will sort themselves out. Don't look back every few moments and, oh, how's my body, what sensations am I feeling, because that is rumination, and that is making you worse. So whether you were ruminating before about your other themes, right, responsibility, scrupulosity, moral scrupulosity, but now you're ruminating about this. So it's kind of two different themes. And then in terms of responsibility OCD and being perfect and good, just try to be a little less perfect. So however it manifests for you, try to be, instead of being 100% perfect, walk yourself down to being 90% perfect. Just leaving it kind of a little bit imperfect and allowing yourself that. It's very important. Also from the previous question, also I forgot, even though the main ROCD thought is less often less powerful, and when it does come in, it just repeats in my head, is this normal? I push through and end up laughing at it, but it's all a bit surreal and a little scary still. But I guess it will eventually just go with repeated ERP. Yeah, absolutely, it will just go with repeated ERP. You just have to look at it as your brain is like, are you sure, and it's just kind of trying everything it can to get you. So you just have to be strong and not give in. I'm recovering from harm PUREO. I want to thank you. I'm happy to help. My mom was in an accident 2 days ago. I'm sorry to hear that. She's okay. Is coming home from the hospital soon. Thanks to your help, I did not have any panic, and I handled it better than I could imagine given the situation. I can tell how much I have improved, given that this would have given me a breakdown months ago. So big thank you for your help and support. Oh, I'm happy to help. This is the thing, is if you train yourself to handle things a certain way without reacting with fear and all of this kind of stuff, you actually are better in emergency situations. My anxiety levels are about 1 to 2 out of 10. Good, but I still get intrusive thoughts once or twice a day, but I don't react, and rumination is down to less than a minute per thought thanks to the method of writing down the amount of rumination. Again, guys, you see this works. I get that it seems annoying, I have to always write it down. It's not always. Few times a day, have a check-in with yourself for a minute. You can do it. My question is, since I have no anxiety and gotten rumination down to almost nothing, do I just keep disregarding and stay consistent and wait for my mind to catch up and stop sending the thoughts? Yes, absolutely. The brain is not really the fastest organ to kind of recover. It's flexible, but it's not that flexible. So it's just going to take a little bit of time to normalize, and this is what I'm saying, 6 months to a year. towards the end of it, you probably don't have to track the minutes, but if you feel like you're slipping even a little bit, then go back to it. But yeah, it's completely normal. Don't analyze that either too much. Just take it as, if you're a little more stressed, a little more things are going on, such as right now, OCD can come in as a thought, or it could just throw you a thought every once in a while just to see if you'll take it seriously like before, right? So it's just the brain is slowly unplugging, slowly healing itself. Hi Ali. Next question is, hi Ali. I feel like I had a major setback despite not checking on my particular theme online for 9 months. I must say my anxiety significantly decreased. Even the theme of the what if thoughts didn't haunt me hardly. Unfortunately, last couple of weeks the theme came back on the what ifs, and unfortunately it got the best of me, and it gave me anxiety, and a must check online urgency feeling came back. And I gave in 2 days ago. Haven't checked since, but my theme is giving me anxiety, like I had a setback. I'm listening to your videos, but my anxiety has, I can say, gradually gone up a few notches. I'm actually concerned I might give in again, and I feel I was improving. Now I'm doubtful I will ever stick, I will be stuck on this theme again. Help Ellie. So, setbacks happen. There's nothing, it could be just stress. A lot of people are stressed out because of the situation and being stuck indoors, or lives kind of suddenly being different. So I don't know if that's what gave you anxiety and kind of gave you those triggers. It could have been just the trigger happened. So really, it's normal. You just gotta kind of swim up from here. So okay, now let's see how long until the next setback. So as you are doing recovery work, setbacks happen fewer and further between. So from now on, no more checking. So can you potentially check online again? Of course you can, but we're going to try our best not to do that. And you're going to track the time, and you're going to go get right back on track. This happens. I don't want you to ruminate on, but what if in the future? The future is going to be what you make it. So start that future right now. So right now, I'm not ruminating about the process of recovery. I was doing fine. I was recovering. Had a little blimp, a little setback. It happens. Getting back on track. What I would kind of, not obsessively, but a little bit just think back to is, was there any kind of stressful situation, any kind of changes in your life that prompted it? It doesn't necessarily have to be so. But a lot of the times it is, and I just want you to give your mind some room to heal in addition to doing ERP. Right? And don't judge yourself harshly. Just, okay, setback happened. They literally happen for everybody who's going through OCD recovery. So you just have to stay strong and push forward. And, you could see already the comments under your question. Everybody's here for you. And this is, what I really love about our channel here is that, all the people on here are so helpful. It is like a family where people are supporting each other and helping each other recover in a way that's actually helpful, not in the reassurance, but in just supporting each other as everybody's going through this difficult period in their life. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for your questions. I hope it's been helpful. I will be doing another Q&A very soon, probably within the next week. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. If you would like to do one-on-one recovery program with me, all the information, including setting up the appointment, is on youhaveocd.com. I'll see you tomorrow.